Hello, my name is Melanie, and I'm the local history librarian at the Longwood Public Library, and today I'm going to talk to you about Tesla and his tower. Nikola Tesla was born in modern-day Croatia on July 10, 1856. His father was a Serbian Orthodox priest, and his mother ran the family's farm. His mother had a talent for making craft tools and mechanical appliances, and she also had the ability to memorize Serbian epic poems. She never received a formal education, but Tesla credited his creative abilities to his mother's influence. At the age of 19, Tesla began studying at the Polytechnic Institute in Graz, Austria. He was a star student, but rather than finish his studies, he dropped out and moved to Budapest after suffering a nervous breakdown, where he soon began to work for a telegraph company. In 1882, he got another job, this time in Paris, with the Continental Edison Company. Tesla began working in what was then a brand new industry, installing indoor lighting citywide. There he gained a great deal of practical experience in electrical engineering. Management took notice of his advanced knowledge in engineering and physics, and soon had him designing and building improved versions of generators and motors. They also sent him on to troubleshoot engineering problems at other Edison utilities being built around France and in Germany. In June of 1884, Tesla sailed to New York. He met with Edison and began working for him, but the pair soon parted ways. Tesla briefly dug ditches before founding two electric companies, but both failed. In the 1890s, Tesla began working with George Westinghouse. Together they lit the Columbian exhibition at the Chicago World's Fair and built a power station in Niagara Falls in 1893. Today, a statue of Tesla is at the Niagara State Park to commemorate his achievement. Tesla announced his plans for a broadcasting station built in Wardenclyffe in Shoreham in 1901. At the time, while our community was primarily a farming community, Shoreham was more of a resort and vacation area, and Wardenclyffe at Shoreham was such a community. Tesla planned to create a radio city that would employ thousands of people and bring large industry to the area. He obtained 200 acres of land and began to create his laboratory. It was designed by Stanford White and funded with $150,000 by J.P. Morgan. Access to the property was via North Country Road, since 25A did not exist at the time. The northern branch of the Long Island Railroad ran past his lab. Tesla's assistant would bring out lunches made for him at the Waldorf Astoria, and also he would have a special train car when he traveled to and from the city to his lab. An old story says that the last car of the train would unconnect on the trip east, then reconnect on the trip west to bring him home to his hotel in New York City. Otherwise, he would stay with local proprietors or rented local cottages for overnight stays. Perhaps the most famous part of Tesla in Shoreham is the tower, also known as the Wardenclyffe or Tesla Tower. Based on his coil designs and experiments in his Colorado, perhaps the most famous of Tesla in Shoreham is the tower, also known as Wardenclyffe or Tesla Tower. Based on his coil design and experiments in his Colorado Springs lab, a large-scale tower was built at the site. The wooden tower was 187 feet tall and could be seen from across the Sound in Connecticut. It was meant to serve as a conduit for sending wireless communications and power through the air. He intended to transmit data, messages, telephone calls, and even photos across the Atlantic to England and to ships at sea. His dream was never realized, and due to lack of funding, the site was abandoned in 1906. In 1915, the lab and the property was foreclosed on. The tower was torn down on July 4, 1917, on the orders from Washington, D.C. There are many rumors as to why it was ordered to be torn down, but the fact that it was so close to Camp Upton and Yaphank seems to have played a part in it. Now here's a fun part about the history of the tower. Before it was torn down, locals would scale to the top of the tower. At 187 feet, the tower is just over 17 stories tall, or the height of Stony Brook University Hospital. Here's a picture from the tower looking down at the Shoreham train station. It was taken by Albert Bayliss and is from the library's local history collection. The base of the cupola had a bowl-like structure that would catch water. In the winter, the bowl would fill up with water and freeze, and the more adventurous locals would ice skate up there. The property changed hands several times until the peerless photo took over the site in 1939. Tesla would continue to work and invent on his discoveries for several more years until he passed away on January 7th, 1943. While the tower is gone, the lab remains, and plans are in the work to create a museum and education center at the site. A statue of Tesla can be seen from 25A. And even today, many of Tesla's ideas and theories are still being worked on at universities and companies around the world. If you would like to see more, please contact Melanie at the local history room to see items in our collection. Thank you for listening and have a great day.